Hello and welcome back. In this lecture, I'm going to walk you through the installation of Codex app and the Claude Code app. So open your Google Chrome and search for download Codex app. And then click on the link and then click download for Windows. After you have downloaded it, go to the downloads folder and click on the installer. The installer is called ChatGPT installer. And then after installing, you need to log in using your account. For me, I'm using the Google account. After you have logged in, put a copy of the app on the taskbar here. So you can do that by right-clicking on the app which is currently running. Or if you don't see it, you can search for the app here, Codex ChatGPT, and then right-click and then pin it to the taskbar. For me, I've already done so. So pin it to the taskbar, and then in future, you can quickly find it by going to the taskbar and clicking on this icon here to start your Codex app. Now note that your Codex app is integrated with your ChatGPT app as well. In order to select ChatGPT or Codex, go to the top left-hand corner and click on the drop-down list. From here, you can select Codex. And then from here, you can go and configure your account, your settings. Note that you need to have a Plus plan before you can use Codex. So as you can see, in here, I'm already logged in. So let's go to the Codex app and finish the settings. Click on this, go to settings, and under browser, scroll all the way down and click this on, toggle this to on, to enable full CDP access. CDP stands for Chrome DevTools Protocol. And then under computer use, click on computer use, and here allow any app. The other thing you need is to install the Codex Chrome extension. So go over here and search for Codex Chrome extension, and then click on the link and click install. I have already installed mine. Once you have installed that, you can inspect it by opening the address chrome://extensions, and you can see here my Codex in Chrome has already been installed. It is known as ChatGPT extension. Then make sure this thing is toggled to on. Click on details, and here for site access, make sure you select on all sites. And here, make sure you toggle this to on to allow access to file URLs. And that is the main thing you need to do. And you want to make sure that, and also here, you can enable developer mode. Now, if you ever have any issues with anything, the fastest way is to go back to your ChatGPT by going back to app, selecting ChatGPT, and ask your question here. And if you want it to configure for you, you can select Codex and ask your question here, ask it to troubleshoot, and give it full access. So over here, select the highest model which is available to you, and then select 5.6. So at the time of recording, this is the highest model. And for the effort, select high. Then over here, you can ask it to do anything you want. So you can, for example, ask it to check. You can tell it, I have already installed Codex in Chrome extension. Check to see if it works, and then click go. Now make sure here you allow full access, unrestricted access to the internet and any file on your computer. Don't worry, it will not damage anything. Hide this. So now it will use Chrome control skill to inspect the install Codex extension and run a small non-destructive check in the existing Chrome session. So you can come back here now and see what it does. So I'm going to tile both windows side by side, and you can see this red box appearing here, and now it says yes, the Codex Chrome extension works, and it says I successfully connected to Chrome through the extension, open temporary tab, loaded this, read back the page. So the temporary tab test was then closed. So this confirms that everything is working. Second test you can do is, are you able to use CDP for debugging Chrome? So as we have seen earlier, CDP is a Chrome development protocol, and then ask it to test it again. Yes. So again it confirms yes, through the connected Chrome extension, I can use CDP on the control tab to issue supported Chrome Dev2 protocol commands and inspect debugger events and so on. So now it seems like the Codex installation is successful. So now we are going to install the same thing for Claude. So go ahead and look for Claude, download Claude Code app. So search for this in your browser, and here it says download. So click on the link, and here select download for Windows, and then go to the downloads folder and double click this to begin the installation. And after you have installed, log in into Claude using your account or create an account. For me, I used my Gmail account, my Google account to log in. And once it's started, you should put it on, pin it to the taskbar at the bottom. So you can search for Claude and then right click and pin it on the taskbar, so that in future you can easily access it from the taskbar. So let's launch it from the taskbar now. And here you can see that on the top left hand corner you have two tabs, Home and Code. Now note that in order to use Code, which is also known as Claude Code, you will need to have a subscription for the Pro plan. But as I have mentioned in the earlier lecture, this is optional. If you already have a ChatGPT subscription and you do not want to sign up for a Claude Pro plan, then you don't need to. The ChatGPT Plus subscription will be sufficient to use for this course. On the other hand, if you already have a Claude Pro subscription, then you need not have to go and subscribe for a ChatGPT Plus subscription. So either way works. Either you use the ChatGPT Plus subscription, or you use the Claude Pro subscription. Either one is good enough for this course. So over here, you can click on the code here, and then go to your icon, select settings, and under Claude Code, let's scroll down and see if there's anything to set here. Over here, you must enable browser tools. So enable this by toggling it to on, toggle this to on, and let's just click on this and see if you need to do anything. Alright, for this, no need to do anything. Just scroll down and take a look. Yes, I think that's about it. And here, Claude in Chrome, click on this. Here, click on this to toggle it on, enable Claude in Chrome. And here, make sure this one is select to allow all sites. And I think that's about all. And for connectors, I don't think, yes, connectors, I've already installed Claude in Chrome, but if you haven't done so, you need to install it and then click connect. So let's do that now. So go back here into your browser, search for Claude in Chrome extension. Click on the link and click on install Claude in Chrome extension. And once you have installed it, you can configure it by going to this address, Chrome extension, just like what we did for the Codex earlier. And you can see Claude in Chrome has been installed successfully. Ensure that you toggle this to on, and then click on details. And here, for site access, make sure you select on all sites. And then here, pin the toolbar, allow access to all, make sure it's toggle to on. And then go back to your Claude app here. And here, if this one has not been connected, click connect. And then next step we do is to test it out. Now over here, go and select your models. If you have a Fable 5, you can use it. So I'll use Opus 4.8 because I don't have a Fable 5 plan. So I'll select the highest model available to me based on my subscription. So I have Opus 4.8, so I'll select that. And for the effort, I will select to high. Here I make sure that this is auto, so that it doesn't continuously always keep prompting me for permissions. Then I will ask you to test. So now I'm going to put this side by side. And here I'm going to ask Claude Code to perform a test by saying, I have installed Claude in Chrome extension. Test to see if it works, and then click go. So it managed to connect to your browser, and now we can see this thing appearing here, Chrome extension testing, one tap. And here you can see a message, Claude started debugging this browser. And finally, it reports back saying the extension works, and this is the full report. So the next test is to test for CDP debugging. So we now ask it to test it. Test to see if you can do CDP debugging on the Chrome browser. And click go. So now it loads the debugging tools and is exercising them against a real page, and reports that network tracking arms on first call. And now that both listeners are attached, let me re-trigger events. And finally, it reports that the network tracking, the CDP debugging works. And this is the detailed report. So all our installation has so far been successful. Now let me give you some tips on what happens if you run into errors. Now, as you know, this field is rapidly advancing. So by the time you are watching this video, things might have changed and advanced further. So if at any time you are facing any kind of difficulties or any errors, the fastest way to solve it is to go back to your AI. So for any kind of issues in installing or in debugging or in reverse engineering or just about anything at all, the fastest way to get the issues fixed is by directly using the AI. So if it is a Claude issue, go to code here and type in your issue here. Anyway, it will report the issue to you, and then you can just tell it, fix the issue. You can say, for example, go ahead and install any tools which you need in order to enable this thing to work. For example, if you want the CDP debugging to work, and it reports saying that it is failing, just tell it to fix it. Tell it to install any necessary tools or libraries you need in order to get this to work. That is the easiest and fastest way to solve your issues. Same way, if in your code, your Claude, in your Codex, you face any kind of issue. For example, if your CDP is not working or your Codex Chrome extension is not working, just ask it to fix it for you. Give it full access so that you can take over your mouse and your keyboard and your computer, and it will actually do it for you. You do not have to manually do it by hand anymore. So that is the beauty of AI. It can solve and fix things for you. So take this advice and remember it. So with that, we come to the conclusion of this lesson, and in the future lessons, we are going to continue with the reverse engineering. So remember my tips. Whenever you have any issues, use AI to troubleshoot and fix it for you. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching.